Hello, Pod is Best for UK here, and welcome to today's Game of the Day video. Now, as promised, we are recording from actual Super Nintendo hardware this time, so the picture might look a bit grainy to what you're used to on my videos. This is done by Capture. You might have a few washed out colours or something, or it might look a bit grainy in places, so that's the downside of composite out. It's not RGB, it's just composite. So we've got Ignition, Steel Wheel, Beatbox and Nightmare. So I do apologise for the video being slightly late. I had a bit of a problem with the capture hardware, but we got there in the end. So let's go for Ignition. I remember this on the Amiga and the PC for that matter. So on this version you use a tick system. It's nice to play it on the actual SNES controller as well, that's kind of cool. I was playing the emulator with the keyboard. Right, so this is Pinball Dreams. So let's start the game. And what are the flippers? That's interesting. You'd think the shoulder buttons would be the flippers, but it's not. It's actually left on the D-pad for the left one and A on the D-pad for the right one, which works quite well actually. So let's do this. Now I have noticed, comparing this to the Amiga and the PC version, this sort of scrolls left and right as well as up and down. That's probably because the resolution's probably too low to fit this table in properly. Oh, you booner. Maybe the SNES has got a lower resolution. So it's more of a genuine gameplay. This now we've got the real SNES hooked up. We're not running under emulation at all. Capture card's doing a nice job of capturing it for us. If anyone's wondering, I'm using an ezcap.tv device. I had to get some drivers from elsewhere because the ones hosted on the ezcap.tv website are Windows 7 or 8. Now Vista Stroke 7, and I'm using Windows 11 and it was glitching out with them drivers. I did find some. If anyone wants to know what drivers I use, let me know in the comments or give me a message via email and I will point you in the direction of the drivers to use if you've got one such device. It's also known as USB 2631, is it? Something like that in Device Manager. So yeah, this is Pinball Dreams on the Super Nintendo, and yeah, it looks apart. In fact, the music's very similar, if not almost identical, to the Amiga and the PC for that matter, if you've got the Sound Blaster support of course. And yeah, it's an alright version of the game. I don't think I'm all that impressed with the side scrolling. So let's really quit and let's try one of the other tables. We'll try the steer wheel. We'll go through all four. I think I pressed the wrong button there. I think there's subtle differences with the music, but it does sound very similar. I seem to be pressing the wrong button. You press the start button to start the table. So to our steer wheel, each table's got a different look to it. So let's do this. So you can choose how many players. Interestingly, it's got this guy here. I don't remember that on the Amiga, unless this is a pirated version. Whoa! I'm using an EverDrive clone to play these games. It does not have the DSP for Mario Kart, I don't believe, and it doesn't have the Super FX capabilities, so it's only a cheap thing I found on AliExpress, but it works well with the other games. We could cost just shy of £15. It's not as good as a real EverDrive, of course. So I won't be doing any Super FX video games unless you really want me to. There's enough demand for one, and then I'll have to switch back to emulation for that, unfortunately. But there's nothing wrong with using emulation though. But I decided to make it more genuine on this rest of this month. To the console. Works well. It's not a bad picture actually, I don't think. Looks alright, even on an LCD display. Look better on the CRT of course. So let's come out of this and let's go for the next table. We've got our beatbox now. It has got the sampled speech in this version as well. Was this out for the Mega Drive? I can't remember. Yeah, them characters at the bottom right hand of the screen and this guy here definitely wasn't in the Amiga. I don't know what that's all about. And he also changes into the ball. Some sort of addition that they've done. Have some of these. Takes me back. I think we had our first experience of this with the Amiga 500 plus, was it? Cartoon Classics? I think it was a free game included in that pack. If it wasn't, then it was bought it separately, but I'm sure it was back in the early days. I do prefer the Amiga version if I'm honest. USA! Oh you fuck! So what do you think of my SNES capture? Does it look okay? Let me know in the comments. The music's captured, the audio's captured directly from the SNES as well, by composite stereo. It should be coming out of stereo. Oh, nearly. You can tilt the pinball as well if you use shoulder buttons, but if you do it too much that happens and now I can't move the flippers. A bit like a real pinball machine. So let's try the last table here. We've got Nightmare now. Bit of a nightmare this one. Scary, spooky. You can see like the composite fringing going on. Gives it a more authentic look actually. Well, it is authentic because it's a real console. There's that guy again. Weird how he comes down and turns into the ball, isn't it? Strange. Wonder why they decided on that. That wasn't there on the Amiga. Oh, controls have changed. It's now the shoulder buttons. Maybe I've accidentally pressed controls. And this Nightmare, it just changes anyway. I must have hit something to change the control scheme. Shoulder buttons work great. Yeah, it feels more authentic as a pinball machine with the shoulder buttons actually. So the device I'm using to capture this is known as USB 2861 in Device Manager. If you've got one of these devices and you're getting glitched out graphics on Windows 10 or above, let me know in the comments and I'll point you to a decent driver that works much better than the ancient Windows 7 driver, which does loads of flashing screen glitches. It's a really good capture device actually. I mean, as you can see by the picture, it's really stable and looks apart. So yes, that's Pinball Dreams on the Super Nintendo, our first capture of the SNES real hardware. I'm going to give this one a nice 7 out of 10. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Goodbye! And don't forget to keep the suggestions coming in. And like and subscribe if you feel inclined.